Hello, Mr. Lindsay back with another drawing lesson. This is going to be about drawing objects in real life, which is basically called still life. But instead of setting up a whole scene of objects, you could just focus on one object at a time. You could also set up a few different objects and look at them together and try to draw it. For example, like a vase with some flowers in it. I have this jar here that has pencil and a brush in there. I could set that down and look at it. Let's see, my coffee cup, that's nearby. I could look at that and try drawing this. I also have this electric pencil sharpener. Maybe I'll give that a try. There's an electric sharpener. Okay, it looks like that. Maybe I look at that and try to draw it. So the idea for this is to look at the real object and try drawing what you see. A couple rules for this. I do not want you drawing things from memory. That means you're just drawing how you remember that it looks, okay? And I don't want you looking at a photograph or looking something up on your computer and looking at your screen and drawing it from the screen. You have to have the real object in front of you when we do these, okay? So when you get started, I usually start with the main shape first for the object. What is the main shape of the object I'm looking at? Okay, and then I usually go and start drawing the smaller details, some of the smaller details, and then I can color with colored pencil. I could do some pencil shading when I'm done. Okay, it might not take you super long to draw an object, so maybe try a few different objects this week and turn in your very best one, or if you draw two, maybe turn in your best two. The other thing I like is when students turn in their artwork this time, if they turn in a picture of what they looked at. So when you turn in your artwork, maybe you set the picture of your art down and then have the object you looked at it next to it so I can see what you're actually looking at. So that's kind of nice for me to see what it was. But anyway, I'm going to turn my paper here to start because what I'm looking at will probably fit better that way. So I'm looking at kind of an angled view of that pencil sharpener. So I'm going to start off with the main shape. So that pencil sharpener, I always start off lightly. I'm going to draw a little darker so you can see it. But when you draw in pencil, it helps if you start off light. That way you can go back and adjust some things as you go. You don't have to get it perfect the first try. If you draw lightly, you can always, like I said, I can always adjust a little bit so I can make some changes. So I'm going to continue lightly sketching the outline, but dark enough that you can see it. Okay, make sure that object's at a good angle so it's not too plain. Alright, comes down like this, and I can see the bottom of it going this direction. Now, I'm just looking closely at the main shape. This comes down about here. Then this angles up because it's a three-dimensional object. It looks 3D. This also angles up. And then I need to draw this connecting down to here. Now the top, I can see a little of the top of this pencil sharpener. That looks pretty good actually. That is the main outline from my viewpoint in the angle I'm seeing it. Now some details, of course, there's more than that. That is the main shape. So like right here, I can see a line along the bottom, right there. There's another line that starts here and it curves up towards this. Okay, and then this goes this direction, has a little curve on the bottom and then comes up like that. All right. The part that you can take out to remove the pencil shavings is right here actually. It's this. It comes to here and it comes to here. So this is a clear plastic piece that you can remove to take out the shavings of the pencil sharpener. There is another plastic piece that comes here and kind of curves around and back up. This plastic piece comes over this direction. I can see it a little bit on the top, and then the part where you put your pencil in to sharpen it, and this is right about here. So there's my main outline for my pencil sharpener from this angle that I'm looking at. Okay, I also see a couple little bumps on the bottom where there's like little foot here, and there's another one back here on the bottom of my sharpener. There's a cord off the back. I can see where the rubber piece starts for the cord, and then this comes around and the cord curves around here. It actually goes behind the sharpener, and then I can see it curling off this direction. And then eventually it just disappears off my paper. So there's my cord. So there's my sharpener. Now, when I'm done, I can do some shading. There's some parts on this that are dark because it is mostly black, but in here this is pretty dark. I'm going to do some shading on here. Now, if this object was in color, I could use colored pencils instead and add some of the color, but this is mostly black. Okay, this part here along the bottom, I can shade that in like a nice shade of gray. The nice thing about pencils, I can even smear my pencil in to smooth it out. Colored pencil, you can't really smudge that well, but I can this. Let's see here. I can do some shading along the top. I even see some glare from the lights, where the lights shine on it, so I can draw some of those details. There's a light spot right here that I would leave white when I color, and maybe right here, because that's where the light shines on there. So I can shade this in and leave some of those little highlights. These are the details I'm talking about as you get going. You might notice some of these details that you can add as you go. But the trick is to really look closely at an object, to see what it looks like and see how you can do drawing it. How well can you draw this object? Look for the different kinds of lines, curved lines, straight lines, angle lines. Okay, there's all sorts of different kinds of lines in your drawings. So look for those things as you're drawing. Look for the shapes that you see. If it's 3D, try to make it look a little more three-dimensional. Okay, so I continue and finish shading this in nicely. I'm not going to do every single bit while you're watching, but it gives you the main idea of the project. And you can choose any object you want. You don't have to draw an electric sharpener. I just had that nearby, and I thought, hey, there's a good choice. Maybe I'll draw the sharpener for my sample. But anything you have at home, your favorite toy, a stuffed animal. I had some kids that said they might try drawing their DS, or not DS, their I'm thinking that's way back, their Nintendo Switch. You could draw your computer or laptop. Okay, I could draw, like I said, a little vase of flowers, a plate, a cup, a bowl. I could arrange some things on the table and draw them. So it's kind of up to you. Food items, you could draw objects like that. I could take a little bowl and put an apple or some fruit in there and try drawing the bowl of fruit. So think about it and figure out what you want to try to draw. Practice a little bit. Maybe do a few sketches. See how they look. And then when you're done, turn in your best one, I guess, whatever you think your best drawing is. And that way I can see that one. Or you can turn in more than one. If you have several you like, turn in 2 or 3 drawings. That's fine. They shouldn't take too long. I'd say most of you will probably spend 5 minutes or so on a drawing with this. So in 20 minutes you might get like 3 or 4 drawings done. So there's one sample, and you can go from there. Draw whatever you like. Look at the real object though. Please do not look at photographs or look on your computer screen and look stuff up. Don't draw it from memory. Look at the object. This is a little, I'm going to put it down here so you can see it. I couldn't do that while I was drawing, but that is the sharpener I was looking at. That's what it looks like. Okay, so I looked at that. I had it sitting here on the table in front of me while I did that. That's why it looks a little bit more realistic. Using the real object makes things look more real when you're drawing. So go ahead and give it a try. I look forward to seeing what you come up with.